I'm Luke Cox. I'm a researcher in the Ultrasonics and non-destructive testing group here in the engineering department at the University of Bristol, and I've been leading the project to spin out Impulsonics, which is a company that uses special ultrasonic tweezers to streamline biotech automation. So when I started out with my research, what I really wanted to do was just create the best acoustic manipulation device in the world. So as I got to the end of my PhD, I became really interested in why we had all this cool technology, but why it wasn't already being used, and how I could help this technology go from something that's really interesting to something that's really useful. So far, we've had a couple of rounds of funding and development on our technology. So we started out looking at how we could take these sort of bulky electronics that we were using and seeing if we could create it in a commercially appropriate scenario. At this point, we've now been out and talked to over 150 different potential users of our technology to try and really dig into what they want. And what we realized was we had a load of expertise and a very cool piece of technology, but what we were missing was another little piece of a process that people were really struggling with. And once we put those two together, we found that there was actually a whole process that was a lot more appealing to people. So we've incorporated the company now, and we're now looking to raise a bigger round of funding to actually do that commercial development, to create a device that can actually sit in someone else's lab. We've received a whole host of support from the university. So we've had the Impact Acceleration account that has allowed us to do a lot of the technical development, proving the concepts that were relevant to industry. We've used the CDF, which has enabled us to get help from an external commercial consultant, which has been really helpful in framing how we can actually construct a business. And we've also had some support on the IP matters, not just guidance on what we should patent, but also help paying and filing for that. So I think the biggest challenge that I've faced is the uncertainty that's often surrounding the funding. Obviously, it makes sense in entrepreneurship. Often you're using smaller pots of money to de-risk longer-term parts of a project, but it can be difficult if you don't have a strong social safety net. But I have had support from the Commercialisation Team, and there is a certain kind of pathway that they're able to help you lay out and think about, to sort of travel down and help you see where you can go in the future. And another part of this process, and particularly through the ICURE program, is you meet such a breadth of people that it expands your network massively, and also expands the way that you think about different job opportunities. So actually, there's jobs that I can think about taking now that I never would have considered without doing this. So even if the project that you're working on doesn't necessarily turn into a company, for example, I think that there's still a lot to be gained by going through it.